Hey everyone, MJ here. How's it going? All right, we're in Taiwan, and you saw the title. We broke 8,000 cases today. And I said, you know, this CECC threw in the towel, but I don't mean that in a disparaging way. Man, they've done a fantastic job. The Central Epidemic Command Center here in Taiwan with Mr. Chen Sezong, they've been unbelievable. But it's overwhelming. You know, other places around the world had peaks very, very early, and Taiwan was protected. And hey, Dave, how's it going? Fist bump to you. Yeah, Taiwan was protected for a long time, and yeah, it was really nice because, oh, thanks, Dave, for hosting me on Twitch. It was really nice because, you know, we were pretty much shielded from the pandemic here. We didn't have any of those issues, and daily life was normal. But now everybody's scared. So yeah. Anyway, how's the audio? 1 2 1 2. Got my you know, my mic clipped on here. Should be good. I can put the camera a little further away. It's noisier today, and there's a truck out here and some people. I don't want to show the back camera. I'm just going to show myself. But this is, of course, the famous Jar Jar store, and we have some Leo beer here today. And we're going to see if we can pop this. And you can hear it. Oh yeah, nice and foamy. Yep. So I got to take my mask off. Okay, great, thanks. It's a good sounding mic, and I have been in contact with the company. The company makes some Dante enabled audio solutions, and my studio is Dante connected. You know, my PC to mixing console is all Dante Audio Network. So I may end up getting some more gear from them, because one of the things I wanted to do was get an audio converter so I could put some more, you know, inputs onto the Dante network outside of just the console. So, hey Patrick, my man, how's it going? Thank you. Yeah, this is a Relicart, and they're a Chinese company in Guangzhou, and they make this wireless mic system. And the funny thing is, the transmitter's 2 channels. So later on, you can just buy another, the receiver's 2 channels. So later on, you can just buy another transmitter. And the transmitter is a little clip-on thing here. And the mic's in the top. On the side is a jack for a lavalier. And I have the lavalier, but I don't need it today. So I can stick it on here. It's good enough. Looks kind of funny, but how are you doing, Patrick? Patrick, as you guys probably know, is the gentleman who agreed to take on a project that I proposed to him. Gosh, it's almost been 3 years now, hasn't it? Yeah, wow. I approached Patrick about doing an automation system for the Behringer X32 console. And let me tell you, you know how easy it is to mix now? Yeah. This is how I mix now. Okay? That's how I mix. With Patrick's system called Automate. Yeah. Amazing. That's me. So yeah. All right, here's what happened today. Coronavirus Taiwan. Taiwan reported 8,923 cases. Now, not all of them are domestic cases. If you look carefully at the picture here, you'll see a number. It says 8822. That's the domestic cases. All right? But the good part about it is, well, they only reported 2 deaths, and there were 2 gentlemen that both had cancer, unfortunately. So the deaths are way down. People are not dying from this disease, and there's only been a few that have actually been moderate to severe. All the rest of the cases, they're all mild, so that's a good thing. So I'm glad that we were protected in Taiwan up until the point where the disease has progressed to this part, to this. So, hey, how's it going, Matthew? Okay, Kern in London. Oh yeah. Patrick is a grandpa again. It's fantastic, and he's on his way to see the new arrival. That's just so cool. Congratulations. Have you tried Leo beer? Leo is a Thai beer. And it's made in a couple places. One of the places it's made in is Khon Kaen City, and I was in Khon Kaen, but this was in Padum Thani, and I've never been to Padum Thani, but I have been in Khon Kaen like 20 times or something. And这个不用丢掉了，不用，是这个是垃圾啊，哦放哪里啊？好。So the thing is, right, is the one time the beer truck came at a bar I was at, and they said, hey, we just got a bunch of Leo beer from the brewery. We're like, come on, man. It just came off the truck. It was great. Matthew, how you doing? Got any snow? Boy, oh boy. All right. So I don't want to sound disparaging towards the Central Epidemic Command Center of Taiwan, but they apparently are going to stop QR code tracing starting tomorrow, and the QR code tracing is what has been able to protect us. But now that we're 8,000, you know, we jumped almost 2,000 cases today, so it'll be 10,000 tomorrow, and next week it'll be 20,000. So there's no point. They've shifted now from prevention of transmission, they've shifted to prevention of bad outcome, which is the right thing to do. So I've never had a chance to personally talk with Mr. Chen. I've had an exchange with Audrey Tang, the Taiwan's digital minister, you know, about COVID. But Mr. Chen Zedong has done like an unbelievable job, and he's got my personal thanks. No snow, okay. Getting below freezing. That's crazy. The flowers opened up and said, oh, it's cool. And then it snowed or got frosty, and they all folded up and said, oh, no more. They went into hiding. So as you guys know, I got the Panasonic Arc 5, right? This beautiful, amazing razor. And Dave and I have been having many conversations about shaving, and because it's like, you know, something that every man does, and it's like it could be a chore, it could be fun, it could be a ritual. So, oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, I love that. But you got to keep these razors clean, you know. And I was in the category where I hated shaving, and it always bothered me, and I couldn't stand it. So I got this Arc 5, and now it's like, it's amazing. I love it, but you got to keep it clean. So I just got this, and actually Dave's the one that hit me up to it. Panasonic makes a special cleaning soap for their razors, and I did not know that. Feeling a live shade coming. I did that on band, but I didn't do it here. But yeah, I mean, I could. I got the microphone. It could be right here in my face, you know. And this, of course, is oil. And one thing I never knew, because I didn't, I mean, I guess I'm just stupid, but you got to oil your razors. And if you wash them with soap, it washes the oil out. If you just do dry shaving, if you oil your razor once a week or twice a week, depending on how often, that's enough. But I shave like every other day because I just like that satisfying feeling of it mowing down the forest, that, you know. But yeah, tonight, it's time for it tonight. And I experiment with a lot of shave creams and gels, and I even got a shaving stick, you know, and all kinds of stuff. But if you wash it, if you use any kind of soap like this, or even hand soap, sometimes I'll use like a body wash or something to wash the razor. It washes the oil out, and if every time you wash it with soap, after it dries, you should put the oil on. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, this bottle of oil is gonna last me like a century, because you just put one drop in each foil, and the Arc 5 has 5 foils, and it's got the trimmer, and that's it. But so I'm looking forward to doing that, because the thing is in these tropical and semi-tropical environments, and even Dave where he lives, sometimes the humidity. You live in an area that's humid, and you wash your razor, and you leave the head of it disconnected, and it's out, and everything is exposed. But it still can take like more than a day to dry, and it's easy for these things to develop some kind of a funky smell. Now the only problem is all the directions are in Japanese, so the only thing I can read is the words that are in common with Chinese. Like, I see that this is the face of the razor, that is the surface of the razor, and a bunch of Japanese, and some, if something tall or high, and it's like, and then speed, and it's like, I don't know, I can't read it. But anyway, I already know how to use the oil. So basically what you do is with any razor, any foil or rotary razor, you can just put one drop on each head and turn it on for a minute. But yeah, we could do a live stream shave with the Arc 5. And if I'm doing it outside, it'd have to be a dry shave unless I bring, like some bottled water, and I bring a little bowl with me, and that would be funny. Hey Jay boy, how you doing? Yeah, they're all unscheduled. Yeah, I could come here to Jar Jar in the afternoon. See, Taiwan is so cool. People just don't care what you do, as long as you're cool. You're not doing anything wrong or weird or nothing. But even weird is okay, as long as it's not hurting anyone, So, I have seen at least one person underneath this very table asleep in the morning after drinking all night, and nobody said anything. There was a table across the street, and there was oh boy, this is funny. There was a Taiwan guy who he said that he loved me and he wanted to marry me, and I told him, sorry, I'm married and I don't swing that way, right? But he actually got like really hurt because I rebuffed him, but I wasn't being rude or nothing. I just said, sorry dude, I'm not interested, so there's nothing wrong with that, right? And I didn't, my brother is married to a man. Why would I disparage somebody for however they feel about someone else? I don't care about that. But what it was is he just took it really hard. And this is over there across the street. That table has since been taken away by management. And but I sat there and talked with him. He's a nice person, and he had a woman with him I've seen them together, and they love karaoke, and we used to sing together over at Xiaohui's. And he tried to touch me a couple times. And I draw the line at touching for me or anybody else. I don't touch anybody, and I don't permit other people to. So I had to. He started to get a little hands-on with me, and I was like, okay. So anyway, we were drinking, and he took his. If I do that, Dave, you'll have to invite me, because Hapst has a 1,000 follower barrier. Now believe that. Listen to that. Okay, they're having trouble finding people to broadcast. In case you haven't noticed, Hapst is shutting down April 5th. I have 925 followers and I can't broadcast on half. So, yeah, I'm a hottie, yeah. Tell me about it. Women aren't interested in me because I'm good looking. They're interested in me because I'm nice to them, you know. I treat them with respect. So anyway, so this guy took it really hard, and he started drinking, and I was telling him, hey man, slow down. And the lady that was with him was telling, you know, I don't know, it might have been, I don't know who it was. I don't know what their relationship was. Just a good friend apparently, but she's like, dude, you know, slow down. And he drank so much that he took his glasses off. What do you mean, just kidding? Hey, hold on here. Are you saying I'm not a hottie now? Oh, come on, man. Like I care. So, he got so drunk that he left his glasses on the table. And I was out and about the next day, and I saw them. And he came back when I was there. He came back, and then he said, oh, my glasses are here. And that's how it is. I mean, I found a set of keys on the street, you know. Well, yeah, I pass on everybody because I pass on everybody because I'm married. But I've had all types of people of all different persuasions you can ever think of, you know, interested in me. So I take that as a compliment. So, I mean, the way I see it is, if a man is interested in me, it's the same as a woman is interested in me. I still take that as a compliment, you know. I'm not offended like, oh, what did I do to attract a gay guy? It's not like that. So, anyway. Excuse me, I'm sorry. There's no mute button on the microphone. And I talked to the company, Reacart, and I suggested that in an update, maybe a firmware update, they might want to put like, you know, like one tap on the button can mute or something like that. But anyway, so where the heck was I? So you can do anything you want here, right? So I could literally come here in an afternoon with my electric shaver, a bowl, and there's actually a water spigot right over here, see? I could come here with an electric shaver, a bowl, you know, a towel, and a washcloth, and I could sit here and have a wet shave right here on a live stream, and people would look, they think it was interesting, but nobody would come over and say, oh, you can't do that, or that's weird, and something like that. So, really? Well, there's no other way to say this except for me to just say it. And you guys know me, and I'm honest, and I think you know that I treat all people equally, no matter where they're from or what they believe or anything like that, right? But I will say that I have had more experience with gay people than most people have, because of, you know, my family relationship. But also, I'm going to be honest, in the entertainment business, you know, and I would do studio sessions, and there, you know, some of the men there, you know, were gay, and they were, every one of them was very polite, and if they had any interest in me at all, they very discreetly and politely made an inquiry, you know, and I found that no different than a woman asking me, are you married, or, you know, like, are you available? So that's cool. So yeah, I mean, the first time it happens, J-Boy, you know, because it's a guy, you weren't expecting it, it just blindsides you. But I did have, 你好，你好，你会说中文吗？你不可以说你好。OK， 我不要吓死你 ，OK？ 好啊。My goodness, I'm saying hi. these two girls are staring at me on the scooter, right? And I said, hi, hello, hello, hello. And I said, you can't say hi? And then she finally, I saw under her mask, she said hi. And I said, I don't want to scare you, but anyway, remember I said, though, I draw the line at touching. I was hitchhiking one time when I was young, and a gay man picked me up, and he pulled a gun on me, and he stuck it in my ribs, and he put his hand on my crotch, okay? And so I was 18 years old, and I had a decision to make. So, J-Boy, I'm going to tell you something. You know how, I'll finish that other story in a second. You know how, like, if you look on Google Maps, it'll say like an LGBTQ safe place or safe space, right? You know what I'm talking about? Safe space. Let me tell you something about those places. Those places are not safe just for LGBTQ people. They're safe for everybody. And I have been in some gay bars, and I had an unbelievable time, fun time. Because all you have to do is go, no man, I'm straight. And it's like, oh, they're cool. But just watching people, you know, dance and have fun. And I'm going to say this. Gay bartenders know how to tend bar, okay? And you're going to get, like, service, and you're going to get drinks and amusing conversation like you never had. But this guy pulled a gun on me, you know, and he put his hand on my crotch. And I told him, I'm straight, and the gun doesn't make any difference. I'm not going to let you do anything. Take your hand off me. And he has a gun in my ribs, and I grabbed his hand, and I pulled it off of my crotch. And I said, you're going to have to kill me. You're going to have to shoot. Seriously, I'm not lying. I was 18 years old. This is what I did. I'm telling you guys the truth. And something I learned a long time ago, and you've heard me say this, don't act like prey. Don't be prey. He was expecting me to go, oh, do whatever you want, right? I started yelling at the guy. I said, go ahead, tough guy. Pull the trigger. What's wrong with you? You never murdered anybody before? Go ahead. And I started screaming at him, pull the trigger. Shoot! And he's like, okay. And he put the gun away, which is exactly what I knew he would do. Because if somebody's going to shoot you, you never see the gun. The guy that brandishes the gun, he's not going to shoot. And I've seen this, and I have encountered this dozens of times. Okay, those are the guys that you can walk up to and take it away from them because they're not going to shoot you. But the guy that shoots you underneath the table, or the guy that goes like this, bang, you never see it. So anyway, I have a no touching policy, guys. Now I'm going to tell you right now, everything I just said probably would have got, yes, exactly. Everything I just said probably would have got me banned on Reddit. Some woke moderator that would say that I was disparaging a group of people. But those of you who know me know that I speak the truth, and I love all people equally. See, my whole thing is behavior. How does a person act? What do they do? Do you know what I'm saying? That's like, did they do something to me? Did they do something criminal or something like that? And of course, that guy that pulled a gun on me did do something criminal. But I didn't report him. He put the gun away, and what's really funny is he took me right where I wanted to go. Remember I told you I was hitchhiking? I knew something was up when he took a wrong turn, and that's when he pulled over and pulled a gun. But as soon as that episode was over and he wasn't going to get what he wanted and he failed to scare me, and I started acting like a nutcase, yelling at him, he got back on the road and took me where I wanted to go. It was amazing. Of course, the conversation after that was a little bit cringe. I mean, what a way to let that cat out of the bag, huh? Well, I can hear how noisy it is here today. A lot of people are looking at me, but because I'm talking to myself, talking to my phone, but there's a lot more people out here today than I've seen in a long time. And you see me looking around. I'm looking around because there's so many people, and people watching is really an interesting pastime here. But the thing is I haven't seen a single person that I've seen before, and I've been in this neighborhood a long time, so I don't usually come out at this hour. The time right now is 17:14, so it's almost 15 minutes, almost quarter after 5 p.m. And my little girl Phoenix is on the bus, and she'll be home. She'll actually, my wife's meeting her right now, so she'll be home in like the next 10 minutes. Wear earphones, yeah. You know what I have? I gotta tell you guys, I'm a big fan. I have a canister and I'm unscrewing the top. I'm a big fan of Flare Audio. I know you can't see it because it's very hard to see, but this is Flare Audio. And I have a set of their Isolate earplugs, and I have the lanyard so you can't lose them. You put it around the back of your head. And these things are basically a memory foam ball on a solid stick. And when you put these things in your ears, you can't hear nothing, man. And what I like about them is the spectrum is equally attenuated within, I think it's a dB or dB and a half, which is nothing. So what happens is, you can hear people talking, you can understand them, it's just way, way, way down. Because it's not killing one part of the frequency spectrum while leaving the other part of the frequency spectrum come through. And I also have the Commerce, which actually, since I'm sitting here doing this, there are two types. This is the regular Commer, and this is the Commer Sleep. It has a slightly different range. It attenuates. It attenuates those upper mid-range frequencies that are really annoying. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put these in. I'm going to put the Commer Sleeps in because when I put them in and they're fit right, oh yeah, oh boy, that cuts down on all this noise and all this high-end stuff, right? And it's like, oh, I should have put these in earlier today. I don't wear these enough, but like right now, I can hear everything. But that annoying, raspy high end is gone. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is amazing. Should have done that a long time ago. The Sleeps have a slightly higher degree of attenuation to help you sleep. But the cool part about it is it's just a waveguide. There's a hole in them. You can still hear. So like if the fire alarm goes off or your wake up alarm goes off, you can still hear it. But they actually do make a set of Isolate earplugs for sleeping. But I'm going to tell you, if the end of the world comes, you're not going to hear it. So, these things are great. Oh, yeah. And once you get them, they're a little bit finicky. Once you get them in right, and they got a little tab on it, you pull out. Oh, this is nice. It's just like, I should have done a long time ago. I don't know why. I carry these things with me, and sometimes I'm kind of dumb. And I don't stop and think about these things, but I carry these Commers with me, and I'm just so used to hearing things in broad spectrum. As an audio engineer, I'm always thinking about that. But with these Commers, I mean, it's just like I turned down the treble and the upper mid-range. Like all the scooters going by with that really raspy, disgusting, it's all gone. Flare, F-L-A-R-E, Flare Audio. They actually gave me a referral code I just haven't tried to promote it. Gosh, if I promoted all the referral codes that I've been given, I'd probably retire. So let me see something. I want to see what my. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my battery bank and make sure that the phone doesn't run out of power while we're sitting over here. And what I might do is I might go in and grab something like maybe some peanuts and a couple more beers. Haha. Oh, so much better with the conversation, and I don't have to listen, to anything. Nobody's talking to me, like on the live stream. Nobody's. I'm just reading comments. So, but I'm curious. I always have to listen to the replay of the live stream. But I'm curious, how much of this background noise do you hear when I'm talking? I'm pretty sure the microphone has a little bit of DSP processing on it, and I think it's designed to sort of help reduce the background noise on the when I'm speaking, but I think it's optimized for voice and not just an open omnidirectional mic. It is an omnidirectional mic though. What's really cool is that if you get two transmitters, you can turn the receiver into stereo, so and you can just wear both mics and hear stereo. Because one thing I like about Prism Live Studio is that it is stereo and it uses both microphones. But if I were to unplug the wireless microphone receiver right now and try to use the phone, you can even hear me. I would just be, all you'd hear is that. But one of the cool things they have, if you have another transmitter, is they have a stick that locks the transmitter into the stick, and the stick looks like the base of a microphone, and it has one of those clown nose like foam windscreens that go over the top, so it becomes an interview microphone, and it's omnidirectional. And man, that's cool. I think that's something that I could use for my live streams, especially with Haygo, the touring app. So, yeah, that's the only way to be. And it's actually been very good, like with me with JTS, right? Because I bought that microphone years ago, and I contacted them years ago, and they ignored me, and then finally they figured out that maybe I could be of some use to them, and it ends up being a good situation because, I have gotten app developers and hardware developers to add features that I came up with. And one of the features that I came up with, you guys aren't going to believe this, is auto zoom on maps, on GPS maps. But this company that makes this wireless mic system, I have a dialogue with them. They actually wrote to me an email, and they said, who have you worked with in the past and consulting on audio stuff? And I showed them, the JTS videos that we've done there on YouTube. Those videos don't get a whole lot of views. They're really specialized. It's not like, clueless white guy goes to restaurant, orders in rare Chinese dialect, and he's got 12 million views. This is something about a speaker cabinet, and not everybody's interested in that. But the auto map thing, there was an engineer, I forget his last name, his first name was Mike, and he was at Garmin. I bought a GPS 45 in 1994. I paid $550 cash. The GPS 45 was the first practical handheld GPS unit. There was no maps in those days. It would just draw a plot. You could store waypoints and you could navigate waypoint to waypoint, but you couldn't use a map because they didn't exist. So if I had a waypoint here and here, I would just drive my car and I would just keep trying to point towards this waypoint, but I had no idea where I was going on the road. So the thing is, though, is I was using my GPS for what we used to call running radials in the old days. Okay, so you've got a transmitter site, an AM radio station. It's a directional radio station, and it has a pattern, you know. And they might have, anytime you got more than one tower, if there's some kind of pattern. It could be a figure eight, could be. I've seen like 11 towers. They have like a bizarre looking pattern with nulls and lobes and nulls and lobes. That protects other stations that already exist. And then it projects the signal where the population is. So if you start at the center of the transmitter array and you draw these radials out on the map, just lines radiating from the center point, every time like there's a null where the null would come in, that's where there would be a radial. And every time that there was a lobe, the center of the lobe, there would be a radial. So that way you can measure the effectivity of the pattern. And I used to do a lot of this work, like hundreds of these surveys, right? So I would use a map program by DeLorme called Map Expert, and I was able to export it into a format, excuse me, that my Garmin GPS could import, amazingly enough. So I put all the endpoints of the radials in the center point, and so I would just drive along that radial, okay? And one of the things I noticed was that I kept zooming in as I got closer to a target. I had to zoom in to get more resolution. Like, you know, if my position is here and the position of where I'm going is here, you don't know where to go. So I would zoom in, and then my position would be here, and where I'm going is here. Then it got more granular as I went along. And I had a conversation with Mike at Garmin in the early part of 1996, and previous to that, AutoZoom did not exist. Now, I'm not gonna tell everybody, you know, in the world that I invented it, but I mean, claim that, but I think I did, because they came out with that feature in the next iteration. So either they were already working on it and I had independently come up with that idea, or they went, oh crap, we got to do this. I can't tell you. I just know that it's one of those things that I came up with at the proper time. So I do have a history of working with companies, you know, and helping them iron stuff out and you know, tweak things. And in the case of JTS, the WA1, this is the first time I ever heard that speaker, because George will tell you, the first time I heard the speaker, the bottom end was way too emphasized and there was a lot of distortion in it. These guys are design engineers and they're not golden ears. I'm a golden ears. That's what the Audio Engineering Society calls us. And so I can hear stuff that the average person can't hear. It's just a matter of physics, DNA, and training. And so I told them this thing is distorting bad, and I even told them the frequency range that I heard and thought and stuff. And so 2 months later, they had revoiced the speaker. When I came back, that's when I did that video. The guys saw me, I was playing guitar and singing. The thing sounds magnificent now. It was amazing. But what would have happened if nobody told them that? And that's the problem. I did do a recording session in Taipei once with a tie down. And when I got into the studio, I wanted to hear something that they had done. And the moment the guy pressed play, I realized that the polarity on one of the monitor speakers was reversed. He had been listening to the monitor speakers out of phase. since the beginning of the studio. Since the beginning of the studio, this guy had never, ever heard the mix properly. And so I'm looking at what he's doing, and he's got like, you know, the bottom end jacked and all this stuff, you know, just out of proportion, because as you know, anything up the center channel gets canceled if you flip the phase. So I just said, I didn't even ask. I said, turn the power amp off. Okay, turn the power amp off. I flipped the wires going, you know, to the input. And I said, okay, try it now. And all of a sudden he had this massive bass and like massive snare and kick drum that he couldn't hear before. So I don't know what happened. And I don't know how he could exist like that, because every single mix that he ever would have done would not have translated in the real world. You give somebody a mix like that you mixed with the monitors out of phase, and you make mixed decisions based on them being out of phase, and then you run off a copy of it and you give it to somebody, no matter what they play it on, it's gonna sound terrible. But again, why couldn't you hear that? I don't know. I don't think you have to be a golden ears. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna get a little bag of peanuts and maybe another beer. So this will be a good test for this wireless mic, because when I go inside, when I come back, I want you to tell me if you can hear the conversation. What I am going to do though is I'm going to put this stuff in my bike. I know, it is insane, but this is a professional studio. Weird, huh? I'm going to put this stuff in my bike. All right, so anyway, as I leave the field of view, I know you can still hear me, which is a major advantage of having a wireless microphone system. Okay, I'm going to put this stuff, you know, out of sight, out of mind. Put this stuff in the bike. There's nothing on the table except my phone. Nobody's interested in that. They're not going to do anything. So I go over here. Okay, I'm going to go in the store and I'm going to check in with you guys and see if it still works. All right. Testing. 1 2 1 2. Yeah, there's windows here. This should still work. Okay, I'm over here and I see peanuts. Okay, this is fine. And I'm gonna go over here. Windows, because the Wi-Fi goes out the windows. I'm thinking the windows should let this go through. Make it too much. Okay, I'm coming up to the counter to check out. So I know you can hear me now. That's the checkout counter. Oh.
你在忙什么啊？
什么？
忙着讲电话。
直播。
直播。
知道了，谢谢。Yeah, 谢谢. Okay, I'm out of the store and I'm walking around back behind the camera, and then I'm gonna go out in front. So, all right. How much of that? Well, I don't know how they could get away with doing that. I think it's, but you know what, I hate to say this, but I think it was just the blind leading the blind. I think it's a bunch of guys that don't know what they're doing. And see, some of these Taiwan guys are so rich. They don't really do what they do for money, and they don't have to worry about money. So I guess as long as they just made some, I mean, there wasn't a mixing console, there was nothing. So Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So, when I said I was getting the peanuts, right? Could you hear it? I have to listen to the replay. I said I was getting the peanuts. You could probably hear that. Maybe when I went to get the beer, it might have dropped out. But you know, there's a building between us. There are glass. This is glass windows, but this has a film on it. So, anyway, these guys were doing, you know, beats and just, I don't know what it was. Some kind of course, what everybody does when they don't know what else to do. They do rap or hip hop because all they got to do is just drag samples in. It doesn't require a whole lot of talent. Sorry, I'm just being honest because the other day I was looking at a concert on YouTube. It was Journey, 1981, the Escape tour, and they played Don't Stop Believin', you know, and Steve Perry was there, and somebody in a comment said, you know, no overdubs, no auto-tune, no do-over, no nothing, no backing tracks. This is what it was like. And I said, yeah, I had a backstage pass to the Boston Garden, which doesn't exist anymore, on that very same 1981 Journey tour. I stood like 10 feet away from Steve Perry. I went backstage and I met Neil Schon, but I didn't meet Steve Perry because he tripped and fell. And he left because he got really mad because there wasn't enough light. But he was mad at his assistants, I guess. But anyway, so I think they got away with it though because there was nobody in their little peer group that could hear the difference, Dave. And you know, he really wasn't an engineer. And I mean, he knew how to get the microphone sound into the DAW, but I produced that session. I played some guitar on it, but I never heard the finished tracks. I don't know if he even mixed it. I don't know. All right, let me show you what it's like. We got a little wire in the way here. If I go over this way. This is the afternoon here, afternoon drive. I had the wireless receiver clipped on the back of this phone holder. So I put my cotton scotch grenade and I have a stainless steel pipe. Part of the cooling system. The stainless steel pipe is leaking. So I got to replace it. It's going to cost $1,000 US. And I got to order it. And it takes 3 days. So I'm going to be on my bike. I told my wife. We're making parts, you know, for our customers. And contract manufacturing. Yeah, it is a busy area. I told my wife, we need to make them. She said, what? I said, $1,000 stainless steel tubes. Come on, man. $1,000? Because it's made in Germany. Unbelievable. So it's dripping really, really slow. And it drips so slow. No. It's the parts are in another part of Taiwan. That's all it is. The drip was so slow that the computer system didn't recognize that the level was going down until there was a failure. So, anyway. Boy, these are nice. This one doesn't have the ingredients on it though. But these are actually coated with sugar, which I probably shouldn't eat. But hey, we're all going to get COVID. We might as well have some fun. So yeah, that's what's going on. We broke 8,000 cases. Now, the thing is, I'm in Hsinchu County, and Hsinchu County had just over 100 cases today. And Hsinchu City, where Phoenix School is, had 82 cases today. So it's not so bad here, but the real outbreak, I mean, the real problem is, now these aren't wasabi, which I wish they were. Wasabi's from the highlight. The real outbreaks in the north. New Taipei, you know, and Taoyuan and Taipei City, all significantly over 1,000. You know what I think I'm going to do? Bear with me. I'm going to move down here. Man, I hate cigarettes. One thing I hate worse than cigarettes is residue of cigarettes. Why is it that smokers think that cigarette butts are not trash or cigarette packs? Why is that? Why do they think that they can just throw that stuff on the ground? It has a half-life of about 6 months because they're made out of fiberglass. That I'm talking about the filters. All right. Now, I just wanted to do this. I'm sorry if I gave you guys like the puke cam. So. No, they're all open. They're all open. I guess they sort of resolved to like, that's the new attitude. We're all going to get it, so it doesn't matter. No, they're, you know, and this one over there still, you know, I can go to the one over there and do a live stream. The new one, the new big one that I showed you guys recently in a walk around. This is where I usually sit. See this background? It's where I usually sit. That new one down there, I never went in the dining room, and I never tried to live stream from that. But it is open. It's really big. There we go. That's the corner you usually see on late night when I'm out here in the evening. So yeah. Lots of Filipino people here at this time. Across the street there, some kind of a food truck. Can't see what it is exactly. I think it would be too. I'm just a little bit paranoid sometimes though about making too much noise. But I think if I wear the lab mic, I could practically whisper. You know? That's not bad. As long as I wear the lab mic, I can whisper. Doesn't matter. All right, we're good to go here. Got my battery bank. You know, when I'm live streaming with the OM4, that is to say, the DJI gimbal, the gimbal has a USB-A port. And I have a USB-A to C, which I plug into my phone. But the charging is very, very slow. And the gimbal has a big battery. The gimbal can operate for something like 14 hours. It's ridiculous, right? Big capacity, but it won't charge my phone. What it does is it slows down the discharge. So I wish that the output on that gimbal was hotter, but I don't think you can solve that with a firmware update. I think that's a hardware issue. But one thing that I wish they would do is that they would give me a continuously adjustable speed, because normal follow mode is too slow and sport is too fast. And the problem with sport is the minute you pull the trigger and hold it and let go, you're back in follow mode. If you use the app to set the gimbal in sport mode, it won't stay in sport mode. In other words, you can't see with a gimbal in slow mode. You can press the trigger and enter sport mode, and then let go, and you're back in slow mode. But the reverse is not true. You can't be in sport mode, the default, and then put it in slow mode, and then let go and have it go back in sport mode. It never will. You have to, from that point on, you have to treat it as a sport mode is the special mode, and you have to press the trigger to get it. It's pretty crazy. So I guess what I'm saying is maybe it's time for me. It's Miss Lynn. You guys remember Miss Lynn? She lost her ability to speak. It's almost like being locked in there. She's got a fantastic mind. She's 75 years old, sharp as a tack, works hard every day, fully cognizant, understands everything. Just that she had a problem with the throat, went to the hospital, had surgery, woke up, couldn't speak. That's the end of that. Oh well. But maybe I should contact DJI, and I should sort of dialogue with them about improvements to the firmware. I want to show you something. Taiwan cop car. Cops drive around with their lights on. One of our famous electric scooters. They don't even make a pretense anymore of them being electric bikes and try to put pedals on them, make them look like bikes. They're just trying to make them look like motor scooters. I saw a Filipino guy last night with one of those. I asked him how much it cost. He said 40,000 NT. That's 1,300 US bucks. Now, he would either have to pay that on installments, or he would probably have to save money for 4 months to buy that. But Filipino workers stay here for 3 years and then they have to go back home. Then they have to re-up their contracts to come back. And so ultimately what happens is they buy these expensive scooters and they tell their friend, well, I'm coming back, so I'll give you the key. Can you watch it for me? Yeah, sure, no problem. And inevitably they always come back and it's, oh, somebody stole it. So I told this guy, it's the worst investment that you can make. It's none of my business, but hey, your family's not getting the money you're supposed to be here for sending it. Anyway, that camera. I want you guys to see the number of scooters we have here. They run the red light and they jump the green light. There's a couple of those. Really fancy machined out of aluminum billet. Those really fancy electric bikes, electric scooters. Probably didn't see them. There'll be one or two that'll come along in a second. These are all motorized scooters. And many of them have the baffles taken out of the exhaust system. So they're super loud, but nobody cares. Now, imagine if all of those were cars. All those people who are on scooters, imagine if they were cars, because Taiwan is crowded. We have the population of Australia with about, I don't know, 23 and a half or a little more million people on a small island that's about the size of Massachusetts and Connecticut put together. Can you imagine if everybody had a car? Cars are cool, cars are preferable, but there's no parking. You said the streets are designed. This street is special because it has a sidewalk, but this street right here doesn't have a sidewalk. Really? That's not bad though. You know, with gas prices the way they are now, I bet you wish you had that scooter now, huh? Tell you what, if I was back in the States, I think I heard of that. I'd be on a, tell you, I'd be riding a riding lawnmower. Isn't it? It's a really nice lady just across the street. She's from China. And she's the wife of the son of the beef noodle place. And she always she is smiling, always has a huge smile for everybody. It's amazing. You know, you guys have all seen that kind of person that just smiles at everybody. Whenever I see her, I always give her a big wave. Right there, that's illegal. There's two Filipino girls that don't know what the hell they're doing, number one, on an electric scooter. It's illegal because you're not allowed to carry passengers. They think they're going to get away with it because they have helmets, but they're not. Last night I was sitting right here, about 8 o'clock in the evening, right where that blue truck is, right beside where the blue truck is now, right beside that spot, was a scooter with two people on it, and behind them was a cop. And I heard, woo! I turned the corner, he wrote him a ticket. End of story. Now you see these here? A lot of these scooters have those little trunks on them like that. That's a Food Panda truck. That is a food delivery person. And another Food Panda trunk, another Food Panda scooter just pulled up right to the left of the screen, see? Food Panda. Food delivery has exploded in Taiwan. Of course, everybody knows why. But, you know, we didn't have that bad of a pandemic problem. There's another Food Panda, you just turn a corner. And let me tell you, they drive like maniacs. I can't tell you how many times I've almost killed Food Panda and Uber Eats drivers. I hate those guys. And there's a couple of them that live across the street from me, and they're always parking in front of my house, in front of my doorway and stuff. But we didn't have that big of a pandemic problem until recently. But Taiwanese like to order instead of going to restaurants during, you know, hotspots, during times of, you know, elevated outbreak, elevated risk, and the industry took off. So I think people they're never going back. It's going to be Food Panda from now on. They drive on the wrong side of the road. They cut corners on the wrong side of the road. They do all kinds of the wrong stuff. And their motivation is so I have to do it so I can get paid. It's all about making money, right? I got to get the money. And coupled with the belief in fate that they have, oh, there's an electric bike there. Coupled in the belief in fate, there's some more of those electric bikes across the street. They think that it's not their fate to die, that nothing's going to happen, so it doesn't matter what they do. So there's that lady from China I just told you about. She's getting her kids, bringing them back home from the school. There's a school down there in the next block, behind the island. Yeah, I know. The faster they deliver, the more they make, until they go flying through the air because they jumped the green light and got hit by a truck. And this happens every day. With that, ladies and gentlemen, MJ's got to go. I appreciate it so much. Guys, take care. Thanks for sticking with me. I know I'm usually not on this time, but hey, I was over here and just enjoying the afternoon and thought I would come on. But I got to get back to the house. So we'll see you next time. Thank you. And if you want to know what's going on HeyGo, check out therealtaiwan.tv. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Matthew, Dave, Patrick, everybody who joined. See you guys next time. Have a good evening. 再见，晚安。